Hello everybody, welcome back to Spinnerrack. This is Mars here, and today we're going to be talking about the 5 things the new Dune movie has to do to become a success. Okay, they're not in any particular order, but I think that these are some important things. Some of them actually are overlay one another, but hey, let's get straight into it. Number one, and probably one of the biggest things, is it has to be loyal to Frank Herbert's book. No matter what director Denis Villeneuve does, if he's not at least loyal to the spirit of the book, this will not be a success. You're going to have all the people who've read the book, all the people who watched some of the movies and the miniseries, they're going to come up in arms and saying, what the heck is going on? And I'm telling you, if those fanboys, like myself, don't see what Frank Herbert represented on screen, represented in his books, they're going to scream. And I'm telling you, having fanboys going after you in your movie is just going to absolutely kill it. But so far, this looks pretty good. It seems to be following the format. I haven't seen it, but everybody who has said it looks pretty good. The number two thing is money, money, money. Yeah, I know. Not everything revolves around money. Money's not going to fix anything. But the thing is, Dune is such a big, grand, epic. We're not talking about, it's not like everything's happened within one place. It happens on different planets. It goes throughout the galaxy. You have humongous space liners. You have characters who are bigger than space than you could think of. You have tons of money that's going to be needed for makeup because you're going to have to make these humans or humanoids look distinct and different. You're going to have to make the worlds look realistic. It has to be as good or as quality that you have in something like Star Wars or the MCU. And those guys, when they do movies, Disney, which owns both those franchises, when they do something, they spend. Hell, Warner Brothers, which owns the Dune or runs the Dunes franchise, they spend for their Harry Potter movies. They spent like for the Lord of the Rings movies. So what I'm saying is you're going to have to put up the cash in order to get good work. Because if you're not going to do it, then, might as well just consider this dead. Number three, okay? While I said the number one thing, it has to be loyal to the Frank Herbert books, I have to say there's a lot of philosophy and jargon that's in the book that I think that can probably be slimmed down for the general populace, and that's who you're going to have to be. Even though the fanboys are going to say, "Hey, put everything in it," dude, you're going to have to probably slim it down. They did the exact same thing in Game of Thrones. They did the same thing in Lord of the Rings. You're going to have to do it. There's no way that you can cover every single aspect of what was in the book. Just the Dune book is just going to be huge. And one of the good things that they've done, Denis Villeneuve, the director, is that they split the movie in half because it was just too much to just do it in one movie. They did the miniseries that was done on Sci-Fi, which was actually a hit, one of Sci-Fi's biggest hits ever. When they did the miniseries, it was actually 3 episodes, three movies. I think it was 6 hours altogether. But that's the only way you're going to be able to encompass everything, and you're going to have to break it down to people who have not read it. You're going to come in here and it's a very complex world. There's a lot of different factions, and if you don't make it at least accessible, people are not going to want to look at it. They're going to be like, this is garbage. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to look at it. Number four, all right? This is another big one. This is the script, okay? And when I'm talking about the script, I'm talking about the script has to be tight. You have to appeal to both the Frank Herbert people who've read the books. There's even Brian Herbert, who has his own books. That's Frank Herbert's sons, that some people say are not canon. They don't want to read it. I'm not getting involved in that at all. But it has to be a script that somehow will be able to go to both sides, because there's a whole bunch. The world for Dune is huge. I think Frank Herbert did around 6 books, and then his son has done other books before the whole thing happened. So it's the prequels. So it's very, very important that this script measures up. So whatever you put in here may be called later on in the future for a future movie, or in the past for the prequels. So that's extremely important. And it has to sound good. And the script is basically the roadmap of what's going to happen in the movie. And I'm going to tell you, Denis Villeneuve, Denis Villeneuve, who's the director, it looks good. It looks good. And so, again, everything is looking. People saw the IMAX movie and said the 10 minutes, and they're like, "Yo, it's fantastic, man! I love it! I love it!" So that's what we're hoping that we're going to get. Lastly, and this is important, is the actors. I'm telling you, you're going to need huge actors to hold these places. And this is where I think, there's a lot of potential for it to hit off, and there's a potential that it can also fall flat, because the main character in this whole thing is Paul Atreides, being played by someone named Timothy Chalamet. I'm not familiar with that actor at all. I don't know how he stands, but he looks decent. He looks like a young Paul Atreides. So I'm hoping that he really pulls it off. I don't know how they would age him up as time goes on. I'm not sure, but right now he looks decent. I have not seen his acting, so I don't know what type of hold or charisma that he holds, but it looks so far so good. Then you have, Leto Atreides, which is Oscar Isaac, always going to be great. Josh Brolin, everybody knows him, aka Thanos himself. Who's Gurney Halleck. You have Dave Bautista as Glauso Roban. That's the cool Harkonnen nephew who is like, yo, Bautista looks fantastic in that makeup, bro. So I'm just expecting him to just knock this out the park. Zendaya's Cheney, I haven't really seen much. We hear talking over the trailer. Can't say much for that. Of course, Jason Momoa. He is looking as like Boss Duncan, Idaho. He's going to be one of the main characters. Best he happened in the books. He's does fantastic. Rebecca Ferguson, who is Lady Jessica, I think she can definitely do a good job. And those are just some of the ones. And the guy playing Baron Vladimir Harkonnen, Stellan Skarsgård. Not too familiar with his stuff, but I mean, it just looks epic the way it's been developed and decided. But I gotta say, man, if they can keep all these elements in place, I think it's going to be a huge hit. But of course, you have that entry factor. Is it accessible? And that's going to be so important. And this is where I go back to say, yes, we keep the fanboys in, all of us who've read, all the ones who love the world of Dune, but you got to make it accessible for people who've never read it, who can say, hey, let me try it and let me see how good it is. Just the way they did it with Lord of the Rings, just the way they did it with Game of Thrones. And those books all have high hurdles, from some of the subject matter, just encompassing quite a lot of stuff happening. So, hey, that's my take. I think you guys should check it out. I hope this movie comes out. I hope it's a huge hit. I hope they do more movies in the future. But, hey, Spinnerrack, out.